Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I go by the name CeeChronicles on my social media platforms, so you can call me CeeChronicles. However, my name is Cecilia. If it's your first time joining me here, thank you for coming along. I do fragrance reviews and I do fashion and lifestyle videos. So if it sounds like something you're interested in, why not click the red subscribe button and join the family? I'd appreciate it if you do. It'll help this family grow. To my returning subscribers, thank you for coming back. I appreciate you. You're my family. I appreciate you as always. I'm here with a fragrance review video for you. I came across this fragrance called Mazaaji. Okay, this is the packaging. I'm just trying to avoid the reflection from the other side. This is the packaging for Mazaaji by Lattafa. I've unboxed it, obviously. Inside the box, there was this pamphlet, which was, I showed you this in my other video when I did the Ajwat. So Lattafa is throwing in these pamphlets these days to market more perfumes, I guess. And these pamphlets actually have fragrance notes, which actually helps us, which helps a lot, you know, because it was hard finding Lattafa notes on the website. So there were a lot of different notes, you know, flying about, but this is actually from Lattafa. And before I go any further, let me state, I am not affiliated to Lattafa. This is not a paid promotion. This is not a sponsored video. I'm just bringing you a fragrance that I came across, which happens to be from the house of Lattafa, and I thought I should let you in on it, okay? So Mazaaji, this is the fragrance in question. This is the bottle. It's 100 ml, okay? It's got this rose on it, a beautiful printed rose. It's got a plastic cap, but this cap, oops, I almost dropped it. This cap snuggles in, so you can actually lift it by the cap. It's quite a secure cap, and that's the bottle. It's quite a heavy bottle, which is beautiful. I'm gonna spritz it on a piece of paper and then I'll tell you more about Mazaaji by Lattafa. This to me is a feminine fragrance, okay? The box does not state whether it's unisex, whether it's pour homme or parfum, but this to me is feminine, although we can wear what we want to wear. So I'm not trying to label this, you know, or if you're a male and you love something like this, you know, this to me is a feminine fragrance, but I guess anyone can wear it. So I'm going to spritz it here. Okay, that is the atomizer. Beautiful burst, right? This fragrance, obviously, judging by the bottle here, it's going to be a floral fragrance, right? Which exactly what it is. Now, in the top, it's got the mandarin orange flower that comes through straight up. That is without a doubt. I sprayed this for my daughter and I said, can you tell me what you perceive? Just the first spray. And she just said oranges. Okay. So, something comes across here, which is like I said, in the top, which is tangerine or something in the orange family. And then in the mid, it's got the Turkish rose as well as the Bulgarian rose and some jasmine, which gives it a bit of some greenness. And then in the base, it's got some vanilla, some patchouli, and some sandalwood and some amber, okay? It's really big on patchouli as well. This is a bright, shimmering white floral, okay? Really bright fragrance. It's semi-sweet, semi-fresh, semi-powdery, but very floral and with a touch of green, like I said earlier, okay? Now, this overdose of mandarin fruit that happens in the beginning carries through. So it becomes sort of like a citrusy, zesty fragrance that's battling with some rose, because the citruses do not give up on this. The mandarin carries through. It keeps coming through. However, after about an hour, okay, this prickly rose comes through, or the prickly roses, the really sharp roses. And they are not, this is not a shy rose. This is like a rose in its rawest form. Like if you had a massive bouquet of flowers and it was all roses and you sniffed it, or you were walking in a rose garden. So this is really forward on the rose. This is not like a shy rose. But like I said, the citrusiness, that zestiness, it comes in to dance with the rose. So in as much as it's a prickly, piercing rose fragrance, it does have a bit of some citruses in there. So it now really depends on your nose whether you get stuck up on the rose alone, or you can feel this citrus that I feel. Because when I sprayed this in the shop, while I purchased it, I sprayed it on my arm. first thing that came to my mind about 20 minutes later was, no, I'm not going to like this, because the rose was so sharp. It was kind of overwhelming. And then I guess that was because I did give this fragrance a try and then went about my business. So the heat was on it and whatever, and it was on my skin. So, I in the evening when it was a bit cooler, I said, no, let me try it again and see. And I sprayed it on the clothes. And then I kind of, started feeling this, tangy, rosy, citrusy kind of thing going on. Although the rose, like I said, is really, really a sharp one. It's not watered down. Okay, so you should, if you like rose fragrances, you will like this. If you don't like rose fragrances, this is all rose, and it's good because they've actually made the bottle. They've put the rose there so that you do not then feel a bit let down. Say, why did I buy this? You kind of know what you're getting into. And there's two types of roses in here: the Turkish rose and the Bulgarian rose. So it's quite an overdose of rose. It then transitions after like a couple of hours, after about 5 hours, it then starts to get a bit powdery, but the rose still holds its own, but then it starts to get a bit powdery, and also depending on your nose, again, like I said, you may feel this piercing rose all through, to a point where even this powderiness, you wonder what powderiness was she talking about, because this is all rose. Yes, this is rose. Whether or not the rose is done beautifully, I think the rose, if you like rose fragrances, I think the rose is done beautifully here, but it is a rose forward fragrance. So if you've been in a garden, or if you've received a massive bouquet of roses and you sniffed it, this is exactly what you get. But again, like I said, it does have, don't forget, it does have that jasmine that makes it a bit green, just a tad bit green. This is not, I wouldn't say it's too green. It does, it does, that jasmine gives it a bit of some greenness, but it's an overdose of the rose. The vanilla also comes in to make it a bit warm, so it's not going to be too piercing. It does have a bit of some warmth to it, but it is really a floral, white floral scent. The patchouli in here is also a bit heavy. This is deceiving. If you just spray a bit of it, you might think it's a quiet fragrance. No, this is loud. To me, I can safely say this is a loud fragrance, okay? But if you're into heavy florals, you might not be bothered by it. But if you like your fragrances to be quiet on the florals, you may find this really heavy. But I also suspect that if you wear this in the deep, cold months, it might actually perform a bit different, where some other people might come back and say, no, this is not even loud at all. I just think in the sun, this is the bomb. This is just, in the sun, it projects like nobody's business. It's in your face to a point of almost headache inducing. You've got to honestly be obsessed with the rosy feel, the floral feel, to love this fragrance. Yeah, it is a beast. It's a beast in the sun. Like I said, I tried it in the sun, and first I thought, this is a mistake. But it's one that I am now loving, even though this is like, I've used it twice, but I used it at night to see if I'll be able to sleep through it, because that's what I do sometimes with perfumes. I'll use it at night, and then, to kind of, to see whether I can actually tolerate it. At night, it was a bit toned down, and it holds its own. It's a good performer. I could still sniff this in the following day in the morning. So yeah, it is quite a decent lasting fragrance, but that is an overdose of rose. Now, a lot of people come to my channel asking, since you do Middle Eastern fragrances, which fragrance can I buy that does not have the Middle Eastern vibe? I would say this is one of them. This does not have the Middle Eastern vibe to it, okay? It does have the sandalwood and all, but it doesn't have that Middle Eastern vibe to it. It's got like a Western feel to it. And if I may liken it to something, I would say, if you like, though I'm not particularly a fan, but if you like Gucci Bloom, if you like J'adore, the way the florals come through from those perfumes, Gucci Bloom, J'adore, and I do have a tester of Amouage Honor. Amouage Honor, when I got the tester, I was quite, I was certain I wouldn't buy that one, because it kind of has that, you know, that powdery kind of musky floralness coming through to it, and I feel that coming through as well in this. But this leans more, you know, like I said, if you love Amouage Juana, you probably love this fragrance. If you've used Jadot before, you probably love this fragrance. Or if you love something, you know, Gucci Bloom, Cacharels, Anais, you know, those kind of fragrances that are really sharp on the florals, then this is for you. And whether or not this is age-wise, I'd say this is quite mature, but I can see again, you know, even say youthful people loving it, as long as you like the floral fragrances. It does really, it's not a girly girl kind of fragrance. It is quite mature. It's not on the aldehydic side, you know, like the Chanel No. 5. No, but it's just got a lot of prickly roses, piercing rose feel to it, you know, with a tangy, zesty feel, you know, and a slight sweetness to it. It's not a sweet fragrance per se. So yeah, that's all I had to say about Mazaaji. I hope I did explain it well, you know, to you. And if you're considering buying it, just know that you've got to love rose. That's all I can say about this one. This is really on the rosy side. So thank you guys for joining me today. And it comes in 100 ml. If I hadn't mentioned this before, it comes in 100 ml. And a lot goes a long way, because a little goes a long way rather, because it is quite a, you know, it holds its own. I can safely say, I know when you say 12 hours, people become skeptical. This, I can still sniff, you know, I can still sniff. I wore it when I bought it. I go home and I wore it at night, and I wore it the following day, and it was still there. You know, it's a heavy fragrance, almost headache inducing, but beautiful if you love your florals. So yeah, thank you for joining me, guys. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you do consider subscribing. Just click that red subscribe button, turn on post notifications so that you are notified anytime I upload a video. Let's meet in the comment section. Let me know what you think of this fragrance. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. You know, as long as you like roses and flowers, I do absolutely recommend this fragrance. Does it smell expensive? Yes. It doesn't smell tacky at all. You know, so yeah, like and share this video so that you know, a lot of people can actually possibly come to this channel and subscribe as well. It's been your girl CeeChronicles. I appreciate you watching, guys, and remember, smelling good is a form of good manners.